folks, Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Come here with a blog post we want to share with you. Of course, we review the latest in social media and technology. We have phones from all the major carriers to review. Be sure to like and subscribe to them on YouTube so that you can get all the latest and greatest as the phones are sent out to us very smartly by all the great carriers that are out there. What we're going to do is we're going to cover for the month of July what we feel are the best phones that you can take and purchase on each carrier. It's going to be the one that I highly recommend. If you have questions as to why I recommend it, we'll allude to it a little bit, but the best thing to do is to catch the reviews on the chrisvossshow.com website or go to our YouTube. So let's start off by one of our favorite carriers because they're the fastest download and upload time, and they seem to do really good for us no matter where we're at, especially even in our MiFis. AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com. You can go to the website and check out their stuff. What are we recommending for the month of July in 2013? We are recommending the Samsung Galaxy S4. You're going to find that we really love this phone. We've had it for a while. We think it's pretty awesome. Now, AT&T just did release the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active, which is kind of a waterproof sort of phone. It only has an 8 megapixel camera, but it seems to have all the same internals that the Samsung Galaxy S4 is. We're hopefully going to be reviewing that soon, but I think we're still going to go with our Samsung Galaxy S4 as the number one recommended phone to take and go with from AT&T. If I had my second choice, I would do the HTC One. It's a very secondary fast phone to the Samsung Galaxy S4, so those would be my two top choices for the AT&T networks. And of course, I'm also recommending the top OS when I'm doing this, so you won't see me referencing any other OSs other than the ones I recommend. How's that? So now let's flip over to Verizon at VerizonWireless.com, our friends over at Verizon Wireless, and let's take a look at what's out there on the market. Now you've got the Droid phones, etc., but the phone that we're mostly interested in just barely came to them at the end of, I think, this month is the end of last month, I should say, the Samsung Galaxy S4, and it of course is in here. You can see based upon its price, it's definitely selling well and very popular, and so we'd recommend this for your Verizon account if you have one, and if not, you can check them out, compare their services, etc., but we definitely would recommend the Samsung Galaxy S4. Sadly, there's no HTC One over here on the Verizon network. The only other phone that I'd probably recommend that had 1080p is the Droid DNA, which I did like, but it was a little slow for me, not as fast as I really wanted it to be, although I did love it. It was the hardest phone for me to return to Verizon. Sprint, with Sprint now, they seem to have all the latest and greatest too. If you go to their Sprint website at shopsprint.com, you can see that the Galaxy S4 is once again the phone that I am highly, highly recommending. They actually do have the HTC One if you want to get that as a secondary backup. You like having the speakers face forward. But I got to tell you, I have both phones. I really, 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 really love my AT&T S4. Sprint's got it too. It's a beautiful thing. I just had some friends on my recommendation that are with Sprint that bought the Samsung Galaxy S4. They're extremely, extremely happy with their choice. So, that being said, I'd recommend this phone if you're on the Sprint mobile network. VirginMobileUSA.com sends us phones to review, and they're a great company, very popular, we found, especially on our YouTube views. They got a lot of views. So what we recommend on Virgin, I'm going to surprise you here a little bit, but I would recommend the iPhone 5. You're like, Chris, you've been recommending the Samsungs all this time. How about the Samsung Galaxy S3? Samsung Galaxy S3 is a very nice phone, but the iPhone 5 is much speeder, has a much faster processor, much faster everything all around. I think, in my mind, a much better phone and much better updated OS and everything else. If you do have to be an Android person, I would definitely say go with the S3 over some of these other products that are out there in the market. You can tell they're not quite as good as the S3, but I would definitely on Virgin Mobile recommend you do the iPhone 5. It's much faster in speed, and it's just a more updated device. Now, lastly, let's go to Boost Mobile. Boost Mobile are good friends over there. You can go to their website at boostmobile.com. That's boostmobile.com. And we're going to go ahead and recommend the Samsung Galaxy S3, which is one of the best phones out there. With their system, as in Virgin Mobile, you pay for the phone up front, and you're not locked into a contract for 2 years. Some people like that as a better way to go, and they have the freedom to do what they want. So you can check that out at Boost Mobile. Highly recommend the Samsung Galaxy S3. 3. So, if you haven't noticed, there's a pattern here. Really love Samsung Galaxy phones. I think they're beautiful, wonderful phones. Some people complain about the plasticky case, but inside, they're just kick-butt phones. And they definitely are rocking and rolling, and Samsung is on the cutting edge of chips and everything else that they're doing in the marketplace. So be sure to tune in next month for the top phones that we'll be recommending. We're going to be doing this every month. At the beginning of the month, we'll recommend the phones that we think you should buy on each of the major services out there in the marketplace. And be sure to check in and compare all the services for which we want to do. And of course, the services may vary in your area. You may have one carrier that's better than the other. So now you can compare which phones will work best for you, depending upon the carrier you prefer. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Be sure to check back in often. Give us a like and subscribe to us on YouTube.